we are basically going to cover 30 days to rockstar status through this webinar and getting you from wherever you're at to wherever it is you want to be. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody at the end of the call. And if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please do not hesitate to type those in the chat box, and I will address those once the webinar is concluded. And we'll just go from there. I'll also open it up to questions and answers to everybody at the end of the webinar as well. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Shauna Zamarripa. I am the trainer and director of agent development here at RE/MAX Realty Advantage. I currently have a Facebook following of about 5,000 people plus 250 subscribers, over 3,000 followers on Twitter, in addition to over 2,000 followers on Pinterest and other social media venues as well. So when it comes to social media, I kind of sort of know what I'm talking about, so we'll go from there. Let's go back one. Okay, we'll go next. So why do we want to use social media? Well, let's talk about the numbers for just a second here. In a recent survey that was done by McKinney Global Institute, and this was actually in December 2010, the numbers are actually exponentially increased now. 63% of companies who use social media marketing say that it has increased their market effectiveness, among other benefits. You get greater customer satisfaction. You've got highly reduced marketing costs. I advocate to every agent in our office utilizing social media simply because it is going to be the highest return on their investment for the absolute lowest cost. Direct mail has a less than 1% response rate, and as you can see here, marketing effectiveness is over 63% with social media. So it doesn't take a lot of rocket science to figure out what's most effective in today's day and age. Also reduces support costs. If you're running a business or if you have a staff, you're going to need some support staff there. You're going to need some folks who know how to deal with customers and client bases. And having the capability of being able to do a one-stop shop on social media and get your alerts either on your phone or via email makes your life a lot easier as a business owner. It reduces the time that you need to take to market products and services. You have abilities to create events. You have abilities to create offers and promotions. One thing I do want to point out is there's a couple different classes I offer here that are also in a webinar format. One is going to be Fun with Facebook, where we really go deep on Facebook and show you how to market that effectively, both on your personal and business pages. Another one I do is strictly for Facebook business pages. So if you want to be on those lists at the end of the webinar, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and email me so that I can put you on a list where I'll let you know when those webinars are coming back up also. There's another one that I do on Pinterest exclusively. So what I'm going to do today is basically a general overview, but know that some of the training that I offer here at our office goes very deep on each independent social media platform. So we can talk about that a little more in detail. You also are looking at an increased revenue of 24%. Now, if you're a real estate agent, you're looking at an average GCI of $4,000 per transaction. So if you're increasing that by 24%, you're adding almost 6 figures to your bottom line at the end of the day, depending on what your current production level is. So there is a lot of value in what social media has to offer. It is the most effective marketing channel as far as response rate goes, and this is just a snapshot for you guys of what's working versus what isn't. It used to be several years ago paid search marketing, the Google ads that you would see on the side of the page that are over and above an organic search were the way to go. Unfortunately, not so much anymore. It appears as if the switch in consciousness has become people wanting more user-generated content. One of the reasons that mommy bloggers are so successful, as a matter of fact, people putting out their own peer content are really taking over advertisers. So that makes a big difference. And, one thing that I teach a lot here in our office is people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And social marketing allows you to show that care. It allows you to showcase who you are and allows a little bit of you to come out, which is one of the reasons that I teach classes that utilize both personal Facebook pages, personal Twitters, things like that, in addition to business channels. So it can become a little overwhelming to manage unless you really understand it. The goal is to try to help you guys to get to a point where you really understand it today. But social marketing is trumping paid search marketing. Probably the most next effective is going to be organic search marketing, and what that means is when someone is typing, your name or your company name into Google, you want that result to own the first several pages of Google, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in depth as we go along. Review sites are increasing in popularity, but print advertising and local media has gone way down, as has display advertising, billboards, bus benches. People are really starting to tune those things out in favor of online marketing. And just to prove a point with that, because I always believe in social proof, let's talk about that for a second. Last time you were on an elevator, I want you to think about that. What were people doing? Were they talking to each other? Or were they staring at their phones? 90% of the time, people are staring at their phones. And what are they doing? They're on social media. They're checking their Facebook. I do it in line at the grocery store. I see other people do it in line at the grocery store. So, it really has become quite relevant in today's marketing age. So we're going to talk about learning to use these tools so that you can change your business, because I want you to be able to market like a rock star, and that's really one of the things that we focus on very heavily here is marketing and lead generation. So step one, I want you to Google yourself. Your clients are Googling you. Do you know where you rank? Now, obviously, I have a little bit of an advantage here. Shawna Zamarripa is not the most common name you're going to see out there in the world, but if you Google me, you will notice that I own the first 17 pages of Google, and it's all content that I have put out there and created, every single bit of it. My social media accounts, different websites that I have blogged and guest blogged for, it's all right there. So what I do in order to track my effectiveness, my own personal effectiveness, is I take a screenshot and I put a reminder to myself on the first of every month to take a screenshot of where I'm at in Google and where I can improve. This is my organic ranking. This is what I was talking about a moment ago. So every 30 days I take a screenshot and I compare it to the last one that I took so that I can measure my effectiveness and what's working and what are people searching for. If you start typing your name in the Google box, you'll see what other people are searching for about you as well. Many things that come up when you put in my name, Shawna Zamarripa blogger, Shawna Zamarripa blogs, Shawna Zamarripa children blogs, Shawna Zamarripa parenting blogs. So I don't keep my content just real estate related, because the bottom line is everything ties back into real estate anyway. So what you want to do is utilize any kind of gift you have, blogging, video blogging, whatever it is you're doing, to allow people to see all of the different faces of you, and every picture you upload to Flickr, to social media, to anything else that you're putting out there, even on Snapchat, that's going to get indexed. And the more times you're indexed, the more effectively you increase your Google ranking. So every 30 days, and the way that I do this, and it's a way, it's not the only way. Some folks use Evernote, some people will use different to-do apps, but the way that I do it is I am an avid Outlook user, so I will put a recurring task every 30 days in my Outlook to remind me to Google myself every 30 days. And I know that kind of sounds dirty, but it is what it is. So we rinse and repeat this process every single 30 days. So using this system that I'm giving you right now, you'll see your rank continue to improve, and you're going to be in a position to dominate the market, just about any market that you could consider being in. So step two, and this is something you might want to write down. SlideShare is actually now slideshare.net, and I want you to make a note of that. The PowerPoint presentations that I am presenting throughout my webinars, the one even that I am doing today, is going to be available on SlideShare for you to download if you want to go through these slides again. And then, of course, again, I will give my email out at the end of this webinar, so you can email me if you'd like an emailed copy of that link as well. But you're going to need profiles on the following. You're going to need a business profile page or a business page or a fan page on Facebook. You're also going to need a personal page. You're going to need a business page and a personal page on Twitter. You're going to need a Pinterest business page, and the way you set that up, if you want to convert your current Pinterest page to a business page, you can do that by going to business.pinterest.com. There is also now an option for you to have a Google Plus personal page and business page. I highly recommend that you have both. The business page will allow users who search you organically to leave reviews about your business, and there's ways that you can step that up to obtain more reviews, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that when I teach my Google Plus business class. You also are going to want to profile on LinkedIn. That is very, very important to connect with other industry professionals. There is an entire class that I offer on increasing business on LinkedIn as well. YouTube is another wonderful resource. I oftentimes will try to upload our webinars to YouTube if you want to watch them again. Instagram is a great resource. That's for pictures, and one thing that I recommend you do here, you can actually integrate your Instagram with your Twitter and your Facebook and a couple other social media sites. So when you're posting to Instagram, you can actually share that same photo with several different audiences. And, you know, you need to be cognizant of that. The audience you have on Twitter might be different than the one you have on YouTube. The audience that you have on YouTube is likely going to be different than your Facebook audience. The same goes with LinkedIn, Pinterest, Flickr, or even your blogs. So be cognizant of these things, but know that, you know, sharing certain things amongst all different audiences will increase your effectiveness and your response rate. SlideShare, again, this is a typo, and I will correct that, but it is slideshare.net. This is a great resource for you to upload any type of training PowerPoints, marketing PowerPoints that you want to put out there, you know, so that the public can review those, and it's a really nifty way to do that. You can even embed these into your web pages, which is pretty cool, the same way that you would embed a YouTube video into your web pages. And then, of course, there's the Yahoo blogging system. And the reason that I like Yahoo blogs versus, you know, a lot of people using WordPress or Blogger is based on a proprietary system that I created several years ago. I found that if you're blogging for websites that provide you with a national marketing backbone, it's actually going to increase your effectiveness and response rate and index rankings in search engines. Now, does that mean that you should not have a Blogger blog or a WordPress blog or another blog elsewhere? Absolutely not. You know, even if you're in real estate, having an Active Rain blog can be beneficial, but it's not going to be quite the same level as what you're going to get when you're using websites that have a national backbone behind them. If you want to know more about blogging, take my blogging class. So step 3, it's all about your profiles. Once you have these different websites set up, you need to be cognizant of what your profile needs to reflect about you. Your profile needs to be fun. It needs to be engaging. It needs to be interesting. It needs to be something people want to read. All too often, people are putting generic content out there, or a resume, or, you know, something like that. First and foremost, I want you to be cognizant of your audience on each platform. You know, Twitter, your bio's got to be short, sweet, and to the point. Facebook, it can be a little bit more lengthy. LinkedIn, it's a little bit more appropriate for it to read like a resume. But be cognizant of your audience. You know, do some homework, do some research, and figure out who your audience is so that you can market to your audience effectively. But you want to use the profile that you have on each social media site to be an extension of you. You know, link your other social media accounts and your website from each profile. That's the smartest thing to do, because you're wanting to capture people you might not have on Twitter or people you might not have on Facebook or something like that. So if you cross-promote your different social media accounts and then also cross-promote your website, it's one of the smartest moves that you can possibly make. Your photos should always look professional. You know, a lot of people will want to post profile photos, you know, like memes or, you know, them out drinking with friends or things like that. No. You want something that's going to be professional, but maybe even sometimes a little bit fun or funny. The objective here is to capture people's attention, to raise their level of curiosity. If you raise their level of curiosity, they are far more inclined to engage with you than if you're just posting the same generic content or motivational quotes that everybody else is doing. When you're using headlines, and even when you're cross-promoting, talk about your accomplishments. You know, were you Rookie of the Year? Are you a rock star real estate agent? You know, were you Platinum Top 50? What were you ranked at in your city? You know, talk about what you've done, what you've accomplished in your professional life as you're writing your profiles, but also as you're cross-promoting them. You know, connect with rock star real estate agent blah, 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 who ranked, you know, number 5 in the city of San Antonio in 2014. Those things capture people's attention. You know, they want to follow and model themselves after successful people. So if you are a success, you want to tout that a little bit. When you're on LinkedIn, you do want to fill out your employer history completely. It's also become a little bit more relevant on Facebook and Twitter. People are checking you out on different social media sites, and they are cross-checking. So if things don't match up or if things don't quite line up the way they're supposed to, that can become an issue. But remember, be natural when writing your bio. One thing that I cannot stress enough is write the same way you speak, because if you don't, it's going to come out. You know, especially if you're going to take up video blogging or something like that, write the way that you speak. It's going to be the most authentic that way. Your summaries really do need to pop, and it's your opportunity to demonstrate that you're an expert. You're someone who deserves to be noticed. Don't just copy and paste your resume. Get a little creative with it. Get a little bit outside the box with it. I do reviews for our agents all the time of their profiles, of their bios, of things like that. So, you know, it's just another service that I provide to the agents here in our office. When you're posting something, you want to include a call to action. Visit my website. Check out my blog. Call me for more information. Please share this with your networks if you find it valuable. You'd be surprised how often people forget that integral part of sharing something when, you know, people are 50% more inclined to share a photo or a blog or an infographic when you just ask them to do it. It's the same way as asking for the sale. You know, ask them to share things. Step 4, you want to link everything. The first rule of social media is to have all your accounts linked together. As you can see here in the graphic in the lower left-hand corner of this slide, everything points back to your website, and it should. It's the website where you're creating content. It's the website where you're building your own unique community. So you want everything to start pointing back to that website. But don't get obsessed with, my website needs to be finished before I do this. It doesn't necessarily have to be finished. Make sure that you have your most important parts of your website complete, but understand that just like social media, your website is a living, breathing thing. That content has to change and update and become relevant in order for your social media marketing to your website to be effective. So make a point of updating your website at least every 30 days. More often is better. If you blog, try to put out at least 2 or 3 blogs a week. My personal goal for myself is 2 blogs a day. You know, and then you want to link that back to different opportunities, different blogs, and definitely always your website. But, you know, you want to start also by putting all of your social media links to your website. You know, so if someone's Googling you and the first thing that comes up is your website, well, guess what? Now you've captured somebody who wants to connect with you on whatever platform they're most comfortable with. I mean, let's be real here. Most people will choose 2 or 3 that they're comfortable with, and, you know, then they'll follow somebody. Twitter users are usually very devout. Facebook users are usually very devout. LinkedIn users will vacillate between the two. And, you know, YouTube users are going to be their own animal, unique to and of themselves. So be cognizant of that also. You want to have different places where people can reach you and where you will stay top of mind. The goal is always to be top of mind. You want to be that go-to person. When someone thinks, you know, I have a real estate question, who should I ask? You know what? I know who I need to ask, Shauna Zamarripa, because she, you know, is posting this stuff all the time about what she's doing and what she's training on. And that's one of the ways that I generate so many social media leads. You know, I'm posting content that I create, and then I'm putting that out there on social media in addition to small little micro blogs or blips about my day, and I'm staying top of mind. So do the same thing regardless of your industry. But you also want to make sure that these platforms that you're creating, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your YouTube, your Yelp, all of this, you want to make sure that you've got the cover art. You want to make sure you have the timeline cover photo, the channel art. You know, you want to customize it. You want to brand it. You want to build brand you. You know, and make sure that those things are completed before you go crazy posting content, because you want somebody to land on whatever platform they get to and say, wow, this person actually knows what they're doing. If you're not able to do it yourself, leverage yourself. Visit websites like Fiverr, Fiverr.com, where you can hire somebody to do some of these tasks for just $5. There's also other resources like Odesk and Guru.com that you can utilize to do the same thing. So if you don't have the time or the expertise to learn how to do this yourself, leverage yourself. You know, spend a little bit of money and take that time, because it will come back to you tenfold. Let's talk about managing your social media life. I know I've already covered a lot of information, and I know much of this can become quite overwhelming. If you want an easy way to manage your social media life, one of the tools that I've utilized and that I've had a lot of success with is Hootsuite, and that's HOOTSUITE.com. If you go to the SlideShare presentation, this link that you see right here on my screen is actually active, so you can go straight from there. But you can use this program to link and manage several accounts at one time and even allow yourself to program your updates throughout the day. Like, one secret to my success, how can you be efficient and post so much on social media? Well, guess what? I preload a lot of those posts because I already know what I want to say at what times of the day. But the other reason that I like Hootsuite is there's an option on there that will ask you, do you want to post when, the most people are logged on? Well, Hootsuite will do the math for you. And when the most people are logged on to these different platforms, Hootsuite's going to click off and say, okay, time to post. So then all you have to do is log back in later on or, check your accounts later in the day and see who said what, and then respond to that and join the conversation. That is one thing that I did leave out of this class is interaction. Interaction is so crucial. It's not enough to just post something. It's not enough to just cross your fingers and see what hits and what doesn't hit. You also have to interact with other people, like other people's posts, comment on other people's photos, get out there, put your name out there. People, again, do not care what you know until they know that you care. So you've got to show people that you actually care. What are they doing? What's going on in their lives? Make sure that you make that authentic, genuine effort, because if you don't, you're going to fail at this. But if you want an easy way to manage your entire social media life, there's Hootsuite, and it's free for up to 5 accounts. After that, there is a monthly fee, but it's highly, highly worth it in my opinion. So step 6, you need to finish getting set up, or here's a couple other tools that you need. Again, on SlideShare, these links are active, but you need a Gravatar. And what is a Gravatar, obviously? Your Gravatar is an image. It's a picture of you that's going to follow you from site to site, and it'll appear by your name when you do things like make a comment or post on a blog, things like that. So it makes you more visible to the world. It helps identify your posts on blogs and web forums, which also increases your organic Google ranking. Google authorship, especially if you're a blogger, you got to have this. You can link the content that you publish on a specific domain. Like, for example, anything that I write on yahoo.com, you're going to see my picture come up beside it when someone Googles that subject matter because I have my Google authorship set up. You can do that to a WordPress blog. You can do it to a Blogger blog. You can do it to just about any website that you write for. So you need to sign up for Google+, have a Google+ profile, and then you go to Google authorship by going to plus.google.com/authorship. Another resource, and actually a webinar that I'm teaching on Friday, ShortStack. ShortStack is an amazing app that you can integrate with Facebook, and I do not know why more business pages are not using this. I have used it with tremendous success, and I highly recommend it to everybody. It's free for up to 2,000 people per month, meaning that when somebody goes to your page and they land on your ShortStack page, okay, you're talking, you can run contests, you can run polls, you can run data collection, you can say, hey, enter to win a $100 Zales gift card, things like that. Put that on there. That's incredible lead capture. But you can get 2,000 different lead captures per month for completely free using this resource. After that, it does come with a small fee. Once your business is booming and you're getting 10, 15, 20,000 leads a month, you're going to be paying between $10 and I think it's $30 a month for different packages that they offer. But it's so worth it. And, you can test drive it and definitely make plans to attend the webinar that I'm offering on Friday so that you can actually see what you're getting with ShortStack, because it is an incredible tool, an incredible resource, and I'm actually going to walk you guys through it live on how to set it up. So it's going to be a really good class, and I hope that y'all make plans to attend it. So step 7, now is for the fun part. It's content creation. And this is my personal recipe for success. It's something that I've used with great success over several years when I started doing this in 2007. I try to give everyone a recipe for success simply because I didn't have one, and mine was all trial and error. So if I can keep you from avoiding my silly mistakes, I would love that opportunity. You need to do at least 3 Yahoo blogs a week or whatever other blogging platform you opt in to do. You're going to want to create videos using the already scripted information that you've written on the blog. So here's an idea. Yesterday I put out some content, 5 reasons that it's time to buy a home now. That's bloggable. And then off of that, I can make a video of the same title and, talk about those 5 reasons and ask for people to solicit a video response. So I can create my 3 YouTubes a week using the blogs that I've already written. So I'm not having to create a whole bunch of new content. I'm just presenting the content in different ways. So that's a way for you to be a lot more effective and efficient as you're doing content creation, and you're not racking your brain going, I really have no idea what I want to say or what I want to do. You also want to do about 1 to 3 infographics using data from your blogs and from YouTube. So again, presenting the same information but in a different way. I found 3 really good free infographic resources that are easy to use. Literally, your 3-year-old can use them. Probably the most easy and user-friendly is the one I have listed here, the Infogram website. Visually is a little bit more complex. I've personally fallen in love with Pick2Chart, and the reason I have is you can customize literally everything on those infographics. So if you're a little bit more creative and you want to start from scratch and you want to start from a blank canvas, Pick2Chart is the way to go. They do have some pre-made infographics that you can buy if you upgrade to the Pro version. Those of you who know me know that I am a notorious cheapskate, so that probably is not going to happen, but the free version will allow you to customize and upload custom graphics to it, so I really have fallen in love with that one. But if you're, totally novice at this and it's intimidating to you, go with Infogram first. That's where I started also. Then, one more time, you're going to want to do 1 to 3 SlideShare presentations per week. And you do this by using the information that you've already put on a blog, the information that you've already put on a video. Now, the caveat to this is each time you're changing up the information, change up the title just a little bit of each thing. Change up the content just a little bit of each thing. That way you're not saying the exact same thing over and over and over again. You're making it a little bit fresh and new, but it's, in my experience, a lot more easy to edit the content that you've already created and just tweak it a little bit for each platform than it is to sit down and script out brand new content every single time you start something. So, again, here's my different information that I'm sharing in different ways. Now, there's more things you can do. You can do HD live broadcasts. You can broadcast events. There's an agent here in San Antonio who will go to different restaurants and do HD live events about, hot areas near fancy restaurants or, restaurants that are popular or, great places to live near different schools, things like that. That's another thing that you could do. And you could blog about that too. You could create videos about that. You can create infographics about that. There's literally no limitation to what you can create and put out there other than the limitation that you put on yourself. So this is just a quick, easy recipe for you to utilize that will help you become more successful in this regard. But, there's other things you can add to it. There's other things that you can tweak as well. But this is a great jumping off point if you're just getting started utilizing social media marketing. So step 8, you're going to push your content. After you make this content, you're going to share your blogs, you're going to share your videos, you're going to share your SlideShare presentations, your infographics on all of your different social media outlets. You can use Hootsuite to do this, or you can do it, once you finish with something and you're like, this is the best thing I've ever made, you can shoot that out to your social media contacts. It's a great thing to be able to do. And again, each time you do this, just as a reminder, call to actions and questions are king. What do you think? Or please share, or what are your thoughts about this? Get other people wanting to participate in the conversation. Of course, with that, you need to make sure that you're participating in that conversation. That's critical. One thing that I have found and that I coach our agents around here in our office is to share the content from their business pages, whether it be Google, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, to their personal page. And there's a recipe for this as well, and I'm going to go into this on the next slide. But this increases your readership and response rate. It's a way for you to farm out organic likes for your business page. Because when people are seeing something posted from a business page, they're oftentimes going to get more curious about that business page, go visit it, and then like it or follow it. So it's an easy way for you to generate more traffic to your business page. So I'm going to give you some super secret content creation tips. One thing that I do, and my agents watch me do this all the time, I have a notebook that I carry literally everywhere with me. It's nothing fancy. It's just a 3-ring spiral notebook that I carry around with me everywhere I go. And as people bring different issues or questions to me, or as something will click in my little head, I'll write down, something I can blog about. Because one of the biggest hurdles to get over when you're creating content is sitting in front of that computer screen and having that little blinky cursor mocking you, because you're like, you'll draw a blank. You don't know what to say. But if you already have a list of things that are predefined, that have already struck a chord with you, it's so much easier to create that content. So, use a method that works for you. It can be you setting a reminder in your phone. It can be you putting something into your phone. It can be, a notepad. There's a bajillion different ways to do it, but that's just one of the things that I do. So use personal experience and life lessons as bloggable moments. We've all had crazy real estate experiences and crazy life experiences. There have been several times that I've walked in houses and, people have been naked in the shower or using the bathroom, or, I walked into a house one day that had a bunch of chickens in it. So, you can write about these different experiences or these different challenges you've seen buyers or sellers face and be able to put those things out there. Another thing you can do is interview other industry professionals and blog about it. This is a double-edged sword when it comes to content creation and promotion, because guess what? If you're blogging about somebody else, if you're writing about their life experiences from their perspective and you're interviewing them, guess what they're going to want to do? They're going to want to share that on their social media networks. So it's already given you a resource to a raving fan. And then guess what? Other people that they're connected to are going to start reading that, and then they're more inclined to share it. So that's a very powerful method to use. Review local eateries and events from your perspective. We have things like in San Antonio, we have Fiesta. Review. If you go, review that. If you go on a Hill Country wine tour or something like that, review it. Talk about your experience. You're doing something good for those businesses, and then guess what? Your review, whatever it is that you're blogging about, you send that to that business owner. What is that business owner going to want to do? They're going to want to share that content also. So you're leveraging yourself and you're leveraging your business, but everything is eventually driving itself back to you. But one thing I do want to point out, when it comes to titling, try to be creative with your titles. There's a few things that we'll come up with that, we've talked about. We will sit in our power hours and discuss different brainstorming techniques. Mad at your realtor, ask yourself why. What is a buyer representation agreement and why do I need it? Welcome to home remodel heck or hell, depending on your personal vocabulary and audience. Strategic business partnerships. Why do I care? 5 of the strangest seller objections I've ever heard. So you think you're cut out to sell houses? Well, I'm going to talk about, what it takes to actually do that. Why is real estate an aging industry? Technology versus hustle and sales, what works? Think about when you're on the internet, you're going to be a lot more inclined to click on a title that grabs your attention. So try to craft a title that would grab your attention. It takes a little bit of work and it takes a little bit of brain power, but it's really going to increase your engagement rate. So, of course, there's more. If you want a really good recipe for success, again, this is it. Blogs, videos, social media posts, a very simple recipe. For personal or personable, doesn't necessarily have to be, I had the worst fight with my husband ever and he's lucky I didn't kill him. It can be, but, it doesn't have to be that if you're not that type of person. But it needs to be at least personable. What can somebody relate to? Or something crazy and outlandish, like I'll do, for me, real estate WTF moment of the day, and I'll try to pick something that's just absolutely crazy, nutty, bonkers to talk about that will start a conversation. Or, if I get different questions, I try to address those on our intranet that we have here at the office, and then also on some of my social media venues as well, to be some helpful information and showcasing that, hey, yeah, I kind of know what I'm talking about. I'm an industry expert here. But you want to do 4 personal or personable posts to 1 business post. You don't want to be that person who's saying, oh, it's a great day to buy and sell houses. Oh, it's, look at my happy buyers. Oh, look at my happy sellers. That's fine every once in a while, but when that's all you're doing, this is not a platform for real estate agents to showcase their listings over and over and over again. That's ridiculous. You become that annoying network marketer that everybody tunes out. So you need to showcase some of you. Post to your social media accounts at least 3 to 4 times a day, or schedule those through Hootsuite. But you also want to spend and time block out 1 to 2 hours a day where you can interface with people on your social media accounts. You can interface, by the way, with all platforms with both responses and posting if you're using Hootsuite. So it's an effective way for you to absolutely multitask and get all those platforms taken care of in 1 to 2 hours. If that's a little bit too overwhelming for you, you can go on, one for 30 minutes, another one for 30 minutes, whatever it is, you want to do. But note that this does not have to be done all at one time. You're in control of this. You can break it up throughout your day. So be as natural as possible, be relevant, and be yourself. And, this is a joke. Unless you suck it, then fake it, But I know nobody on this call sucks. I know everybody on this call is wonderful. So, totally a joke. Not picking on anybody at all. Videos, photos, and infographics are the most widely shared items if you want to know where to concentrate some of your business efforts. When you're posting things, you want to convey emotion. There's a lot of people out there who post the motivational, inspirational quotes, and that's fine. That works for you. But you want to do it occasionally, no more than 3 times a week, because when you're doing it every single day, I can go to Brainy Quote or somewhere else, Quote of the Day, to get that. I don't need to see that on my social media. And, as a joke that I've often said, I also don't need to know that it's Friday. I have a calendar and a smartphone that tell me that. So, try to be relevant, try to be interesting, and be unique. So another thing that I do want to cover today, and, anybody who follows me on social media knows that I am a hashtag fanatic. And the reason that I am is because it's becoming more and more important to people to filter their content, and they're using hashtags to do that. You can talk about different things, and what hashtags do is they arrange the topics accordingly to make these easier for online users to find and locate. So, one of the things that I do is I tell our agents to integrate their personal branding into their hashtags. I'll put things like hashtag wise words from the Witch of Cibolo. Well, that's to increase engagement and also to, have people start paying attention. I have Mike the Lazy Realtor who, will hashtag Mike the Lazy Realtor. I have, hashtag Kim Possible. The examples go on and on and on. So you can use hashtags to both filter out data, but also as part of your personal branding, because when someone clicks on that, they're going to see everything else you've posted using that hashtag, or everything else anyone else has posted using that hashtag. So if you make a hashtag Christmas shopping, that's something that's trending or relevant around Christmas time, that's a great place to start. Look at the hashtags that are trending on Twitter. Facebook now even has a section on section on the right-hand side of the page on what's trending. What are people looking for? Several companies and groups will also make hashtags to drive more relevant audiences to one area. 2012 U.S. elections, Black Friday. Well, how can you use that? You can talk about your top 5 Black Friday shopping tips, or, your worst Black Friday experience, just as an example. And then when you're posting that content out there, video, blog, infographic, whatever, you're using that hashtag Black Friday, and you're getting that engagement. So anybody who's searching for or who clicks on that Black Friday hashtag link, your content's going to be right there with all the big dogs. So it's giving you an opportunity to leverage yourself. You can use them to hold a contest on the internet and create a wider market for your brand, and that's a great way to integrate ShortStack into your marketing. You could do hashtag win $100, hashtag win $200, whatever it is, whatever kind of contest you want to create, hashtag free t-shirt, whatever it is. So that way when they're clicking on that, they're going to be driven back to your page because you're using that hashtag repeatedly through your business pages and your other social media things. That's going to increase your engagement also. You can use hashtags to invite more people to join and become part of discussions. It's a great way, to find relevant content on Twitter or, relevant content that you're interested in. Like when our office does Wine Wednesday, I hashtag Wine Wednesday. Now, I'm certainly not the only person who hashtags Wine Wednesday, but that's a good thing because everybody else who's hashtagging Wine Wednesday, well, guess what? People are clicking on that and they're seeing me as part of that and they're going, hey, what is this? What's this office doing? Things like that. Integrate pop culture into your marketing. We, as an office, recreated the Oscar selfie, and of course I tweeted that to Ellen. That's another way to create viral content and marketing. You're tweeting to Ellen, well, guess what? Ellen can now see our Oscar selfie, as can everybody on her Twitter followers list. Anybody who goes to her Twitter can see that. So you want to be cognizant of things like that also. But it's ideal to keep the figures positive so you're making the right relevant hashtags that's going to make you visible to your target audience. So put a little bit of thought into it. Check and see what's trending, check and see what's relevant, but also create a hashtag for yourself. Make that part of your personal brand. It's absolutely going to make a difference in your business. 21 rules for effective social media marketing strategies. There are no shortcuts to success. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you can do this in minutes a day. No, you can't. You have to make a commitment to it, and you have to have a plan. If you don't contribute, nobody's going to listen. So you can't be that, person who's in the background lurking around and just commenting on other things. You've got to post. You've got to, put some content out there. You need to position yourself to be an expert. A lot of what I taught you today in this class will help you do just that. You will cement yourself as an industry-level expert. It's also going to allow you to create meaningful conversations with people. It's going to allow you to understand that activity and productivity are not the same things. If you're doing an activity and it's not working, it's time to change it up. Quality trumps quantity every time. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's say, for example, you post something like, I had pork chops and applesauce for dinner. It was delicious. Wrong answer. Post the recipe of how you made the best pork chops and, applesauce in the entire universe and blog about it, or do a video blog showing you cook it, and that's a better answer to that strategy. Avoid being spammy. Don't just post to post. Make sure that it's relevant, make sure that it's timely, make sure that, it's brevity and levity are key when you're doing this. But keep it real. Sometimes people will formulate an opinion of you based on what they see on social media, and most of the time it's wrong, but that's okay. Be real about it. If you're having a struggle, if you're having a challenge, if you're having a bad day, it's okay to post about it if you want to. But, if that's not who you are and that's not what you're comfortable with doing, then don't. But, know that sometimes you have to step outside your comfort zone in order to really make effective change in your business. Conversation is a two-way street. When you're posting something out there and somebody's replying to you, be cognizant of that. Reply to them if their comment is not completely ridiculous or asinine. Connections don't imply permission. What do I mean by that? Well, just because you're connected with somebody, you just friend requested them or they just followed you does not mean that you get to run over to them really fast and say, hey, guess what I'm selling and you need to buy this. No, you're relationship building. You're focusing on the business of building relationships. So focus on that. Access does not equal entitlement. Just because you have access to a group, a closed group on LinkedIn or Facebook or somewhere else, does not mean that you are entitled to post all about you and everything that you're doing. Again, it's all about engagement. Adaptability is essential, and this is something that I even struggle with from time to time. You've got to be adaptable, especially when it comes to social media, because everything is always changing. The only consistent in technology, and really even life, is change. So you have to learn how to adapt to that quickly, understand the trends, understand what's working, understand what isn't, and then adapt your plan accordingly. Amplification without accomplishment is worthless. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, if you're just putting out the bullhorn and saying, hey, I'm the best ever, come see me because I'm the best ever, no. People are going to tune you out. They don't care. If you have numbers to back that up, if you say, My office is the best ever because we have, number 3 closed production in San Antonio in years 2013, 2014. We have the, number 6 in all of RE/MAX team. That means something. You're justifying what you're saying. You're giving social proof. And what was one of the first things I said at the beginning of this webinar? Social proof is king. If you can provide that, that's a huge benefit. Engagement and enrichment are essential. Now, one strategy that I live by is I don't want to recruit people. I don't have conversations with people, and I certainly don't hire everybody. What I look at is when I'm sitting across the table from somebody, do they have a problem that I can solve? If the answer is no, I still want them to leave a better agent than what they walked in. I want to give them a solution to one of the problems in their business. So if you switch your focus from a unit-based mentality to a people mentality, i.e., if you help the people, the money will come, it is absolutely 100% true and accurate. So focus on the people, and that's going to help you build your business. One last thing that I do want to bring up in this webinar before I conclude this, because I have been a little wordy today, is consistency. You want to use the methods that were presented here for 30 days. You will see your lead generation and base expand exponentially if you follow the recipe. If you, follow the recipe and go above and beyond, you might even see greater results than that. But it doesn't stop here. You need to be in the right environment. You've got to be around the right people. As much as people are resistant to this, the people who you hang around at the office or in your personal life, they do influence your decisions. They do influence your creativity. So you need to make sure that you are bulletproofing your own personal environment and that you're around people who support creativity and flow and, people who hold you accountable to stay motivated. That does make a big difference because oftentimes the one reason people quit is they get frustrated because, they'll hear something negative from their friends or from their family members. You need to have a solid support system in place, somebody you can go to when you're having a bad day professionally, call up or, text or message and say, hey, my day really sucks. Can, you help me out, okay? It is absolutely imperative to your career, no matter what business you're in, to find like-minded people who support the field of ever-changing technology if you want to stay ahead. So, find somebody who understands technology on an organic level, ask them to be your mentor, hang around them, find out what they know, pick their brain, and then do that for somebody else. It's so imperative to pay that forward, to, pick up other people as you learn and improve your skill set. And then, of course, stay tuned for additional presentations that I give on social media. Like I was talking about before, I do a lot of in-depth presentations on different platforms, and I do creativity workshops here at the office to kind of help people get where they need to be. So if you're in real estate and you're serious about social media, we definitely have the training to support you, definitely to the highest and best use of these tools. So if you want to set up a consultation with me, you can do that going to our website at www.281advantage.net/careers. You'll get some more information about our office and what we do here. I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody on the call. So if anybody has a question, feel free. It's an open platform for the next few minutes here. So I'll open it up and let anybody ask any questions that they had.
Hey, Shauna, can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
That was a very good presentation. I really, really appreciated that. All of it seemed to make sense. I think a lot of it is just applying it and getting a routine and a habit of doing it. But everything absolutely jived, and I definitely look forward to seeing what other presentations you have to add to this. I've just recently been hired in a new position, which I already was familiar with social media management, but this is on a bigger scale, so it's become more important that I'm more aware on how to improve my skill sets and just make them better. And I started following you recently on your personal profile, and I was like, I want to get to know what she has to say. So obviously what you do impressed me enough. So please put me on your email list.
Okay.
For the upcoming presentations that you have.
You got it. And I think I have, I don't know if you registered for this one or not. I don't recall seeing your email come through. But what I'll do is I'm going to type my email right now into the chat box, or, you can even message me on Facebook, whatever you want to do. Okay. But this way you have my email, and you can contact me, and then I'll put you on the list for, any upcoming trainings that I do. Okay. And I know I mentioned on Friday I am doing another webinar, and that's going to be on Facebook and ShortStack, and that's a really, really good tool.
Okay. Now, what time is it on Friday?
That one is at 10 a.m. on Friday.
Okay. And is it about an hour long as well?
Yeah, it should be about an hour. And that one's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to be doing a live demonstration on how to use it, how to install it for the first time and how to use it. So you can follow along with me if you would like.
Okay. And then you also said that this particular, if there was something I wanted to review on this presentation, you said you upload it to YouTube?
I tend to record the webinars, and if they save for me in the right format, I upload them to YouTube so you can watch them again. But if you just want the PowerPoint presentation, you can go to slideshare.net and follow me, or I can email you the link to my SlideShare, and then you can get the information from there.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. I hope I get a chance to meet you.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. We'll have to do lunch or something one day.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Perfect. Well, if you need anything else, you know where to find me.
Yes, ma'am. I look forward to the next one.
Awesome. Well, thanks for attending. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Take care.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.